The California State Seal of Civic Engagement is a seal that is placed on a diploma and/or transcripts of a graduating California high school student who are, according to the California Department of Education, have demonstrated excellence in civic education and participation. To earn the seal, students must demonstrate their civic learning, participate in civic-related projects, contribute to their community, and show an understanding of the United States Constitution, the California Constitution, and the American democratic system. The State Seal of Civic Engagement is an opportunity to enable all students, particularly those from marginalized communities, to have relevant, rigorous, and engaging learning opportunities. Such opportunities would enable students to understand that each student matters and belongs in our democratic society, and that they have a right and responsibility to make the world and their community a better place.
I want to talk about the State Seal of Civic Engagement and why it's so critical these days to have it. Our society, our democratic society, has become so partisan and so full of politics that sometimes we forget those values that mean so much to all of us. And then we forget how to live by those values. The State Seal of Civic Engagement is offered to high school students to help them begin to practice these democratic skills in the context of understanding what it is to live by values that founded this country, that this country was founded on. Values such as life, liberty, equality, and justice for all. Those are very important concepts that get lost in day-to-day life. But the State Seal recognizes that the only way our citizens are going to become prepared is to begin participating and practicing these skills. So high school is a great opportunity to allow students to practice these democratic skills. Practice these concepts of understanding what it is to build consensus and collaboration with people who think entirely different than you. So the state wants to recognize students who have been involved in making a real change in their communities, a real change that centers around informed, authentic student voice, and not just heated passion over issues, but real concern to make our state a better place.
The State Seal of Civic Engagement is a process that involves both the educators and students. Educators, including the school board, superintendent, principal, and teachers, all play a part in this simple process. To get this recognition set up, the school board will need to pass a State Seal board policy. This outlines the criteria for which students will need to follow in order to obtain the seal. Luckily, the Department of Education has already set up a set of criteria for which schools can model, and CEC even has a set of sample board policies which each district can modify to meet their needs. Next, the school will need to identify a site lead that can act as a mentor towards students and a liaison between students and their school and/or community. This site lead does not have to be a particular person at the school. The site lead can be a history teacher, like at Sanger High School, where they're already helping their students understand democracy. The lead can be an ASB or leadership club coordinator, or an after-school program instructor, where they facilitate a civics club like they do at Fowler High School, or like Big Picture High School, where they provide the program during their advisory period. Wherever your school decides to provide civic education, those leads need to work with their students to start researching a school or community problem, plan a project that addresses this need, network with schools or community partners, develop and facilitate the project, and reflect or present back to the school or community. Lastly, a lead or team at your school needs to develop both an application and a review process for the students to apply. Once the school receives the State Seal applications and chooses which ones have met the criteria, those students' information is then forwarded to the State Department of Education so that the students may receive their seal at graduation. All high school students from 9th to 12th grade can work on their State Seal of Civic Engagement, but it's not until their senior year when they can actually apply for the seal. Demonstrating a competent understanding of the Constitution, government, and democratic principles is the Department of Education's second criteria, And this criteria is typically met when the student passes their high school history and government classes. Getting students to participate can sometimes be daunting and a difficult task. This is another place where CEC can help. Our youth council and staff help to generate excitement on why it's important to get the State Seal of Civic Engagement at your school. We have years of experience and many different resources, tools, and civic activities that we can provide to your classroom or club. But most importantly, we have a curriculum that can help walk your students through the civic project process, starting with brainstorming topics, researching data, planning with community partners, and we even provide a platform for students to showcase their projects. And at the end of the semester, when all the students start to apply for the seal, you'll begin to see that the process was worth all that effort. There are so many reasons to promote the seal at your school, but here are the top 4. The State Seal of Civic Engagement prioritizes learning experiences that promote civic knowledge, action, and reflection. And in return, it fosters informed youth voice at your school. Here is Dr. Stephen Morris, who will explain why that is so important.
Civic service project-based learning is so important for you and your students because it gives your students a chance to get involved in things that they want to see change, realistic things, dealing with complex issues in our society that you never get a chance to talk about in the classroom. Talk about mental health, talking about understanding poverty, looking at global change, looking at what issues affect our mental health, and why COVID was so devastating on the social, emotional health of high school students. This gives you an opportunity to really delve into that during class time. You as an educator get to participate in a student's journey of self-discovery to what it is to be a healthy, productive citizen in American society and to belong on school campus, to get involved in activities, to talk to them about things that are passionate on their hearts and your hearts. The State Seal is a great opportunity for us to talk to each other and make positive change in our society.
And let's not forget that the State Seal is accessible to all students, not just those with the top grades or on honor roll.
So we want you and your students to go for this State Seal of Civic Engagement. What positive impact will you have on your community and your school is yet to be determined. It will be determined by your students who become future citizens in our country. It seems like a complicated process, but it really isn't. It follows the California state frameworks, both in social science and history, but also ties into other curriculum that you use every day in your schools and in your classrooms. So go for the State Seal, and CEC, the Civic Education Center, is here to help make that possible, to take a process that seems complicated and make it quite simple. We'll provide classroom instruction, mentoring, and modeling, and give your students project ideas that they can do research on and grow. So we're here for you. Give us a call regarding the State Seal of Civic Engagement. We are the Civic Education Center.